I felt some kind of way. Like I felt like you kind of outshined me a little bit on the songs you picked because you went straight hardcore hip hop and I went kind of like in between
I don't
pop and
know,
hip
but
hop.
the songs you picked though, like a couple of mine were like grabs because again, I was struggling to think of a song that didn't have Eminem or Busta Rhymes or Andre 3000.
Welcome to After Listen, the music discovery and discussion podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Terry Yo,
And I'm Brandon Lee.
and today we're going to have a playlist battle. But before we get into that, do we have any off-topic song or artist recommendations before we get started?
Yes, so I discovered this new up-and-coming female rapper slash R&B artist. Doesn't even have an album out yet. Has a few singles. I think an EP maybe. Don't think you've heard of her. Doechii,
I have not.
Doechii. Pretty good. Recommend checking her out.
I will have to do that. Never heard of this chick before, so
She comes with it. Got a lot of energy. Kind of reminds me of like a little bit of like Nicki Minaj or Lil Kim. Got the like kind of more aggressive energy, but then also can swing in with like some really melodic R&B singing tunes. It's like a nice mix.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check her out. Trying to see, do I have anything this week? This week I don't, because I've been listening to foreshadowing the next episode. I've been listening to those tracks, and I'm excited to get your feedback on that one.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's the whole point of the show. We're here to discuss music and to keep it, fair. We have some quick disclaimers. Number one, we respect everyone's opinion, regardless of how wrong or terrible it may be. And we're here to discuss strictly the music. So if an artist gets canceled before, after, or during this podcast, that does not mean we're advocating for whatever they did. So if they got canceled, we don't care about that. We're just talking about the music.
And finally, if you are an up-and-coming artist, please pay attention to the artists and the guest verses that we're talking about today, or you may end up on this list. If you decide to get one of these people thinking that you can just ride their coattails, they will show you up.
Yes, because you will get bodied if you put the wrong artist on your own track.
Yes.
All right. And as always, check the show notes for links to today's songs. But anyway, let's get into the battle.
Let's do it.
All right. So in today's playlist battle, the contestants are You My Girl, Khia featuring Markus Vance, Savage Remix, Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce, Jewels and Drugs, Lady Gaga featuring T.I., Too Short, and Twista. Yes, you heard correct. Lady Gaga with T.I., Too Short, and Twista. Power by EARTHGANG featuring CeeLo Green and Nick Cannon. Those were my picks. Brandon Lee's picks were Monster, Kanye West featuring Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Bon Iver, and Charlie Wilson. Nosetalgia by Pusha T featuring Kendrick Lamar. Wants and Needs, Drake featuring Lil Baby. And finally, No Hands, Waka Flocka Flame featuring Roscoe Dash and Wale. So basically, to keep this fair, we inserted the songs into a random generator online. And first up, the first round, we got Power, EARTHGANG versus Monster by Kanye West.
Round one.
Okay, so just I guess to start out, we're you picked Cee-Lo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure you didn't pick the other one because that would have been kind of whack. Cee-Lo definitely killed that song.
100%.
And of course, if you've heard Monster, you know Nicki Minaj absolutely slays that song. So that's who I picked for that.
And I'm actually low key mad that you actually picked that song because that was on my list, but I was like, that's kind of an obvious one. I was like,
I almost took it off, but man, I thought you were gonna be like coming with something like I couldn't beat,
Yeah. So yeah, so I don't know. So what are your thoughts on my pick, and I'll tell you my thoughts on your pick.
Well, this is definitely between the two. I'll say your song is definitely a better case for like outshining
Mm-hmm.
the main artist because I mean, yeah, everyone remembers the monster Nicki Minaj verse, but yeah, Kanye still did like his verse still is like really really good on that
Sure.
song versus Earth Gang and especially like Nick Cannon's bits were just like, in my opinion, very lackluster. And like Cee-Lo came in like very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I always love Cee-Lo, man. He's just got a certain flow to him.
I don't know, man. See, this one's hard for me mainly
Yeah.
because like Monster, yes, Ye did his thing. Jay-Z kind of held it up a little bit, but
I
without
feel
a
like that's one of
doubt,
Jay-Z's like worst features in my opinion, but
it kind of was. I mean, and I'm glad
he didn't come with his like lyrical genius he normally does. It's very like
he really didn't. Like he was there. I mean, okay, I'll put it this way: he was there, but he was nowhere near as bad as Rick Ross. Rick Ross shouldn't even been on the song. Period.
that's yeah, that's fair.
So like honestly, even Bon Iver's part was better than Rick Ross' part. Um, but
And this,
like
if you're looking at just straight like comparing just those two verses next to each other, that's also tough, man. Because they
yeah.
both
So
bring it.
yeah, so if you compare CeeLo's verse in Power versus Nicki Minaj's verse in Monster, I would say CeeLo had more substance. However, Nicki had more flair.
More flair and maybe more. I don't know if energy is the right word, but like
Yeah, energy's the right word for
the
that.
aggression that she
Yeah,
brought with it,
yeah.
like gives
She
it a
came
totally
with it.
different vibe.
Like, see, like, no disrespect to the barbers or whatever, y'all can come at me or whatever, but this is the version of Nicki that I liked. I
Same.
liked I like early pre what Pink Friday pre arrogant Nicki where she was hungry and was coming with it and was willing to collaborate, and I miss that hunger because like that's when I this is the verse that made me fall in love with Nicki.
Same. Same.
Yeah.
And then like the next like couple basically albums she came out with were much more like poppy and
Hmm.
he just kind of had like a few other features here and there, but like yeah, for me
Yeah.
this is still probably like the best Nicki Minaj verse in my opinion.
Oh no, hands down. This is, in my opinion, her best verse ever
Mm-hmm.
on any song that she's like guested on. But I got a soft spot for CeeLo on this one because
He
because
does, and like
CeeLo,
you hit the nail on the head, coming with more substance because he's rapping about real shit, man. Like he talks about like the industry and like how he's like had to like play along to the executives' tunes and stuff like that. Like he's talking about something that's like real life and relatable and like doing it with good energy and lyricism at the same time.
yeah, and that's the thing I love about CeeLo because CeeLo, if you listen to any of his music, he has a fun, the flair, but there's always kind of like a minister quality to it a little bit. Like there's always a message deep in
Yeah.
it, like with the wordplay, despite the vernacular or whatever else, and that's somebody I aspire to be. But yeah, I don't know, man. How we gonna decide this one? Because this one came out swinging. Like I was not. Again, this is the generator. The generator did this. This wasn't us.
No, no, we had no hand in the matchups.
No hands in the seating. It's just the first
Um,
round. Power versus Monster. Who we gonna give
I'm
it
leaning
to?
towards CeeLo and Power. I think I really am.
I was leaning towards Nicki. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So as a whole song, how do we feel about Power versus Monster?
As a whole song, Monster definitely gets it. Like just whenever like first put it back on to re-listen to it, because I haven't listened to it honestly in like several years at this point. Like I said, even the Kanye verse at the beginning, I was like the verses came back to me. I was rapping along to it. I was vibing to it.
Hmm.
Um, versus Power, like I said, I feel like I mean, Earth Gang's verses are like passable.
Hmm.
Nick Cannon adds something to the track, I guess. Was he more of like a producer? Because he didn't really. His bit was like the talking bits in between, right? Or was he the middle?
Well, okay, so the purpose, in my opinion, as far as with Nick Cannon on the song, because this song basically talks about the industry, and I think this is like around the time when Nick Cannon's radio show got canceled abruptly for him making some comment. So I think they threw him on the record for him to kind of basically say his piece without saying his piece. So when I first saw the song without listening to it, I thought Nick Cannon was resurrecting his rap career, and I was like, Nick Cannon and Cee-Lo on the same track. I got to hear this. And I listened to the track, and I was just like, oh, okay. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I kind of get it. So I guess it like basically Nick Cannon basically played the Puff Daddy role, just kind of just talking shit and just
Yeah.
basically, you know, just basically stunting on him or whatever.
Well, what about you? Do you which as a whole song, which do you prefer?
As a whole song, I had to give it a monster. Just for the production overall and the fact being that Kanye West sampled his own self,
I
turned it
know,
into a
right? Yeah,
song.
that's a good point as well.
Yeah, and the fact that the song, while it's long, it still flows, and how it goes from that just aggression to the melodic part at the end with Bon Iver and Charlie Wilson
Bon
singing at the end
Iver,
of the
both
song.
all of them are able to like stay on the theme of like being a monster,
Yeah,
both like physically and metaphorically.
yeah.
Um,
All right, I'm gonna give it a monster. What do you?
yeah, I'm gonna give it to Monster as well.
The winner is Monster. All right. Next up,
Round two.
we got Savage Remix, Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce, and Nosetalgia, Pusha T, and Kendrick Lamar. What a matchup.
This one is honestly like whenever you showed me the list before we started recording, this one was in my mind the worst one.
Really? The Savage one?
Okay, because these were I think after because I literally just these 8 songs I had them on repeat for like
Mm-hmm.
basically the entire week. Right, I was just listening to them over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I think these two are my favorites. Like out of the entire, like just like not necessarily like are they the best for like what we're talking about, but just like in general as songs, I think these two were my favorites,
Mm-hmm.
which makes this tough.
Yeah. So,
And they also are both very strong contenders for guest verse outshining as well.
oh, no doubt about it. So, I know Megan Thee Stallion was out there, doing her thing or whatever, but I think this is around the time I kind of checked out from hip hop for a little bit and was listening to other styles of music.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends on Facebook was like, yo, Beyonce is my favorite rapper. And I was like,
Dude,
what? I was like, what are you talking about? It was like, oh, you ever heard that remix of Savage with Beyonce? I was like, what? Okay. So I'll go and I check it. And I was like, hold up. Destiny's Child, Beyonce got bars and was coming with it, was coming out the gate swinging. And I was
dude,
like,
I literally had to look up like the Genius lyrics just to verify like this was actually Beyonce rapping. She wasn't because I knew she was doing like the little sing like extra added part, right? But I was like, wow, yeah, no, it was yeah, really good,
yeah.
really really good. She came with it. I didn't even know she had that, man. Is there
I
any other
mean,
song that she like raps on like that? Really?
so like I've seen like little snippets of it because like okay on Jay-Z's album I think it's what Magna Carta Holy Grail she appears on some songs on there as an alias Third Ward Trill, so that's Beyonce. And but she was doing it,
Oh,
so she was doing her guest appearance rapping under that moniker, and then kind of kept Beyonce, I'm doing quotation marks, as just regular, R&B Beyonce. But over the years, you kind of notice she started doing more sing songy kind of stuff because she really can sing. Like, there's no
she
question.
can.
But like listen to older Beyonce versus listen to now, like she's kind of more sing songy, kind of talk sing, and then occasionally like go full on singing. So, but like when she bust out with them bars, I was like, yo, I'm kind of low key mad that Beyonce hasn't dropped a whole rap album yet.
Yeah, without a doubt, outshine Megan the Stallion. So, much like my recommendation at the top of the episode with Doechii, I'm a sucker for if you can hop on a song, right, and you have just a beautiful singing voice. You're like super melodic. You can like sing me to sleep almost, and then go into like the next verse and you can just spit some bars. Like I don't know, something about that just always like really impresses me, especially like if you get that in the same song. And of course, like you said, Beyonce is like one of the best singers of our generation, hands down. And it was just yeah, I mean, it was really awesome to hear her. I've didn't do it yet, but I definitely plan on. I'm gonna go back and listen to some of those like moniker featured songs you were talking about.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta check out a little bit on that. Nostalgia. So that one, I haven't heard that song before, and I listened to it. As we all know, Pusha. Pusha been in the game for a long time. Pusha can rap anybody under any circumstances. He can kill it. But Kendrick destroyed him on his own track.
Yeah, I will say, Pusha he didn't like do terrible. But
No, no, no.
it wasn't a bad verse by any means. Just yeah, that's for me. That's like the one like big knock against Nostalgia is Kendrick doesn't like quite outshine uh Twista like some of the other songs that we've picked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, the wordplay in Kendrick's verse. And you know me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big lyrics guy, so like that's definitely what I'm going to be focusing on. I mean, he's got numerology with the 9 and 10s adding up to his birth year, and like the whole song being about him growing up. And he's got the line where he's like, your son is dope or whatever, and your son is a brick or whatever it is. The whole
Mm-hmm.
thing is just like laced. I have to like pull the lyrics up in front of me. The whole thing is just laced with like entendres and wordplay, like just out the wazoo, man. Like you literally took me listening to it like several times to like even begin to like really pick up on some of it.
One of my favorite lines Kendrick said in that song was I probably misquoting here, but he said something to the effect of his dad broke his nail trying to fix his nose, and I'm just like, I know what that is.
Yep.
So I was just like, wow. Just like, and then like when I was typing the songs in there, because I was like, I just how people like just look at stuff and kind of don't really look at it. So I was like, okay, nostalgia. And I was like, oh no, it's nostalgia. I was like,
Yep.
that makes more sense. So I was like,
Nostalgia.
yeah. So I was like, okay, definitely talking about reminiscing of back in the days of being around some not so great things as a young person. So I'm just like, okay, I get it. But yeah, like Pusha did not lay down. Pusha did his thing. However, in comparison to Kendrick, Kendrick definitely came with it. So I
Yeah, Kendrick just
do.
came super hard.
So now let's put Kendrick against Beyonce. Beyonce the rapper versus Kendrick. How are we gonna compare these two?
Well, so we can't discount. I mean, she did, it was super impressive Beyonce rapping, but she did also added the song with her singing
Yeah,
the backup. Because
yeah.
I do feel like I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan. I know, right? That
Well,
might be heresy to say. I mean, I don't
uh,
like dislike her. I just don't like have a lot of her stuff in my playlist. I guess. I
yeah.
guess. But yeah, I thought her like I don't know, I am a big Beyonce fan. I'll own up to that. So hearing just her little like, ooh, like in the back was just like I always
what
love that.
what she do again?
Ooh. I'm not a singer,
Nice.
okay? Definitely not on Beyonce's level. But yeah, just she just hits like just a 1 2 second little wavy note in the background and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I love catching that.
Uh,
Um,
okay. I already got my decision in. Like, I think we're on the same page on this one. I'm gonna go Beyonce on this one.
yeah, I think I'm gonna go Beyonce too.
Okay.
As much as I
Like,
love the lyricism and wordplay in Nostalgia, like yeah, just hearing Beyonce rapping and coming with it.
I had to agree. And you brought up like it was super close until you brought up the fact that she also did the background vocals and like the little harmonies. I was like, yeah, that was an added
Yeah,
touch. That was an added touch because I heard the original version and I can't listen to the original version. I have to listen to the
same. The
remix.
remix is in my yeah, I agree. Hands down, it's like the better version of the two.
All right. So we got two more. We got two more rounds to go. Let's take a quick little break, and we'll be right back. Playlist
Whoop, whoop.
battle, and we're back.
Round
All right.
three.
So the third round, before we get to the semifinals, we got No Hands, Waka Flocka Flame, featuring Wale and Roscoe Dash, versus You My Girl, Khia, featuring Marcus Vance. So, what are your thoughts on these songs?
Okay, in my opinion, on the list, these are the two that fit. the theme the most, as far as the guest verse completely outshining
Mm-hmm.
the other verses. Or I guess in "You My Girl," not really verse necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Just in general.
just in general, yeah, just outshining the the main artist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For No Hands, like I think I told you this whenever I guess this is kind of a last minute change, but this was like the first time I ever even heard of Wale whenever that song came out.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Waka Flocka and Roscoe Dash are now minor footnotes. I feel like pretty sure. I don't.
Yeah.
Are they still coming out with music? I don't want to be. I want to say that be mistaken, but I feel like
Uh,
they're pretty much like out of the music popular sphere at this point.
um, I'm really not the best judge of that, but just like from what I can gather, Wale kind of had a moment, and I think he's kind of. I'm quite sure he's still out there grinding, but in my sphere, I don't really don't see him. I really don't see anybody in this round doing anything really.
Really,
As
I still
a,
see. I mean, I'm not like a huge Wale fan by any
Mhm.
means, but I still see him pop up pretty frequently. I feel like
I see him more as a guest
I do.
person,
I see
but
him feature a lot, but I
yeah,
will say every time I see him feature, at least pretty much the majority of the time I've like seen him featured on a song, I've enjoyed his verses.
yeah, no doubt. But like as far as him like doing a actual project, I think listened to one of his albums. It's it has something like a butterfly or a flower or something on it. Whatever the album was. I listened to that and it was okay. I mean, it was all right. I just so here's the thing about Wale. I don't dislike him, but I don't like him either. So so it's just like one of those things where if he's on a song, I know it's gonna be good because I know he has a caliber. But
Hmm.
he's like just
He's not
mid.
the reason you're listening to the song, though.
Exactly, exactly. Like he adds an extra touch, but I'm not like blown away. Like so,
Right, right.
and no hands. I mean, obviously, I like the song for the turn up feel or whatever because really ain't listening to the lyrics. But when you do listen to the lyrics, I actually think I like Roscoe Dash's verse more.
Really, he
Really.
does have a little bit more substance, but man, I can't. Man, I know I'm coming in biased because this was like whenever these songs were coming out. This was like my like prom and homecoming dance type music they would play in school and stuff, right? So like
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm definitely coming at it at a time when like a time in my life I should say that I heard this stuff, but I wasn't necessarily a fan, and so I'm sure I got to recognize that I'm probably bringing some of that bias in. But
Like we all gonna have our biases. Period. The last time I heard that song, No Hands, I was at my girlfriend's cousin's wedding. I think the DJ put that on, and everybody just like tripped over the table trying to get to the dance floor. So like that nostalgia is there for sure. But just like from a technical standpoint, anybody on a Waka Flocka song is gonna outshine Waka Flocka because he's
that's
not. so
yeah, I
so
agree with that.
so like, I'm not worried about that. But just comparing Wale's verse and Roscoe Dash's verse, because I listened to the song repeatedly before we started, and I was just like, it's something about the song that's just not really hitting with me like that, and I want to like Wale's verse, and I think the issue is Wale's verse is too technical.
Mm.
He follows the beat to the beat, and
It
that's
is
it.
pretty technical. I'll give you that one for sure.
Yeah, and whereas Roscoe kind of came with his own little flow, and then like halfway through his verse, he switched the tempo up and kind of had more fun with it. So like again, like he finished the song off right. I'm glad Wale was in the middle because if the song would have ended at Wale's verse, I would have cut it off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So
Um, well, on to You My Girl. This
yeah.
is, I think, the only song where the guest artist is not like rapping of any kind, right?
Yeah, so to get people behind the scenes, I had my four songs, Brandon had his four songs, and neither one of us saw each other's songs until we, submitted it to a playlist for us to listen to. So when we compiled the final playlist, I was like, huh, I'm the only person that picked a singer. so uh yeah, so I don't know how this is gonna fare. So
Yeah.
for me, I like the song for what it is. The song is a sentimental song, and this is Khia, the same my neck, my back girl. But
Mm-hmm.
she has a song called "You My Girl" dedicated to her mom that passed.
Yeah.
And the guy that's on the song, Markus Vance, he sings the hook, but he don't sing the hook. He sang the hook. When I
Yes,
said
he
that
did.
man, he sang the hell out of that song. So it got to the point where I'm not a singer, and I'm over here like I'm over there getting it in too. So so that's why I really feel like that's one of those songs where like okay, Kanye did her verse, it was all right, it was straight, it was kind of elementary, not elementary, but it wasn't nothing to
It
wow your
wasn't
socks off.
yeah.
You know.
Like, the elementary or simple is kind of almost a good word for it, I feel like, honestly, because
Hmm.
like you said, lyrically, it's about her mom who had passed away, and it's a, pretty touching song about that, but the
Hmm.
flow itself kind of, like, took me out
Hmm.
of, like, of feeling what she was talking about until Marcus Vance came in. As soon as he started singing those notes, dude, it was like it just brings the emotion she's going for, like, right to the top, I feel like. And, like, the rest
Absolutely.
of the song, like, after he first starts singing or whatever, it's just like it totally changes the vibe of the song, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. And the way he sang that song, every time I listen to it, I get goosebumps. This is one of the songs where I like. This song is the epitome of why I love music because it makes you feel.
Yep.
And the fact being that the way he sang that song, I'm not sure if they're related, but the way he sang that song, he made it seem like that was also his mom,
Mhm.
and I felt that.
Yep.
So that's how I feel about that one. So I'm 100% biased on this one. I think Khia and Marcus Vance got this round, in my opinion.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one because
Yeah.
yeah, that
Which
man,
No Hands was I knew it was coming in, I knew it was gonna be my weakest pick.
that was honestly like when you switched to that one, when you did the last minute audible on that one, I was like, I'll allow it, but why? Because like your original pick, I think was a stronger contender, in my opinion.
I didn't really feel like it was, like, outshined as much on my original one, but
I mean, okay, you know what? That is fair. It really didn't outshine. It was
it
like
was a
neck and
really,
neck.
really good verse, but I really liked the first verse too, and the more I was listening to it, I was like, it just didn't fit, I felt like, so I wanted something else. And then I just
Okay.
happened to stumble across that one, and then, here
Yeah.
we are.
Yep. I agree. Fourth round pick, we have Wants and Needs Drake featuring Lil Baby versus Jules and Drugs Lady Gaga featuring T.I., Too Short, and Twista. I'll let you start off on this round. What are your thoughts?
Round four.
Well, again, I guess I should go ahead and point out that if you listen to Jules and Drugs, I think obvious that Twista was the guest verse, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
100% Twist. Well, I,
Well, the
I,
one that you're picking for the contest.
for the, yeah,
Are you
yeah,
not?
yeah. Well, his like so I oscillate between Ti and Twister because
I
Ti did
do. Ti does have a good verse. His
yeah
verse is good.
yeah Ti came in hard like he set the tone for the song.
I've honestly not been like I've not even thought about Ti since like 2012, 2013. So it was nice to hear Ti come with it.
But of course, like Twister
Yeah,
definitely bodied it. He bodied that
Twista,
verse.
yeah, it came in and just like from the top rope on this song. So like,
Yeah,
okay,
and then as far as Lil Baby and Drake, I have not heard that song, but here's the thing: I am an elder millennial. I will admit that. And this is the time where we got too many babies floating around. So I get the baby, little baby, some
there
other
is a lot of
baby,
babies.
and baby, confused. And when he said little baby, I thought it was the baby. And then I'm like, hold up. This don't okay. So when I listened to the song, I was like, okay, now that's little baby. And I actually got a chance to actually listen to his lyrics. I was like, okay, little baby kind of go hard. So I think Lil Baby definitely outshined Drake in
Yeah,
that
Drake
song.
just came in like his vibe on his first verse is like he's like hugging a pillow or something. Like I don't
And
I don't know how else to say that. He just comes in. It's like very boring, low
that's
energy,
that's Drake
no
period to me.
substance.
Like
It is Drake. I'm not the biggest Drake fan, so again,
neither
just
am I.
putting my
I mean,
bias out there for the record. But
yeah,
yeah, Lil Baby comes in and just like, and it's not the most deepest verse lyrically or anything like that, but he definitely comes in. He's got some really good bars, really good, rhymes, and like you said, he kind of bodies the song pretty good
yeah,
compared to
yeah. I
Drake's
agree.
verse.
I agree. But yeah, yeah. That's the thing about Drake, man. Like when Drake first came into the game, I wasn't really like blown away. But then he earned my respect, like him popping up on some records. I'm like, okay, this dude got some bars. And then he went into this whole emo phase, and I'm like, okay, I can't rock with this anymore. And then now he went into this Playboy phase, and every girl's heart is hurting me. So I kind of like fell out of the Drake bandwagon. But I will say, thanks to you, I will add this song to my rotation because I actually really do like this song. It's a good
Yeah,
song.
well, it's kind of funny because um, he references like he does body Lil Baby does body the song, but then he also like is referencing I think two or maybe three different like older Drake songs in the lyrics. So like
Hmm.
he's coming on with like the hot fire and that totally outshining Drake, but he's also like kicking it back to him in a way, which is like
Yeah,
it's nice to see that camaraderie, even if I'm not like the biggest Drake fan. Like, well, for Jules and Drugs, correct me if I'm
yes,
wrong, but Lady Gaga doesn't have like a full, or does she have a full verse, or is it just like
she
hooks and
does.
bridges? Is it a full verse?
She does have the
Okay, because
like.
I didn't like look up the lyrics for this. I think I just thought maybe her verse
Mhm.
was like a long bridge or something.
No, and that's one of the reasons why I definitely picked this song because it's her song, but you forget that she's on the song.
I do, man, because like you said, Ti and Twista, man, they come with it.
Yeah, T Short kind of did his little mid verse thing or
He
whatever.
wasn't bad. The whole
Yeah,
song was enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. Like
uh-huh.
I don't think anyone was bad on it, but
Yeah, because I think the song goes, it's like Ti comes in out the gate, slinging, and then after Ti's verse is the chorus, I think, or Gaga's verse is right after Ti. Then after that, everybody else just raps, and she just does the bridge and the hook after that. So it just, I mean, like Lady Gaga's one of those people that are like super talented, but I'm just like, she's just so all over the place that I really don't really haven't really like follow her career because she kind of just does whatever she
same,
feels.
same.
Um,
Which I
so
respect it, but like you said, I don't really follow along with it.
yeah, it's like to me, like it's like trying to like find like a pinball in a maze. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like I can't keep up with her. But when I stumbled across this song during the whole art pop thing, I saw the playlist. I was like, she got all these folks on this song. What kind of song is this? And I played it. I was like, why this song go this hard?
right. I'm not gonna lie. Probably never would have stumbled across this if you hadn't chosen it for this week, for this episode.
Okay, so how are we gonna decide? We're gonna go Twista against Lil Baby first.
Yeah, um, I think Twista, man. I think Lil
I
Baby
agree.
definitely outshines Drake a little bit more than Twista outshines other people on Jules and Drugs, but just stripping those verses out, Twista's
Mhm.
verse is hands down better in my opinion.
100%. Like Twister was able to follow the beat when a beat switched and started going crazy, like
Yeah,
just bonkers. And the fact he kept up with it, I was like, okay,
yeah,
that's like God, that man's super talented. We gotta do like a whole episode on Twister.
yeah.
All right, we're in the semifinals. We got Monster versus Savage Remix. Beyonce versus Nicki Minaj. This one is gonna be tough. I'm not
Yes, it
gonna
is.
lie. This is
We
gonna be
did
tough.
again. We did not plan it this way.
We did not. Again, we
Just worked
inputted.
out that two of the biggest female artists in the game have to be going against each other with two of their strongest showings.
Absolutely. Beyonce the rapper versus Nicki Minaj. Whew.
Finish her. Well, how do we start?
I,
How do we
I don't
start? How do we
know.
start comparing these?
I don't know, and I'm sorry to the listeners. You're gonna hear a lot of sighing and a lot of heavy breathing because we really don't know how to compare these two. Um, man, this is mm,
Okay, I will
uh,
say neither one of them are super lyrically deep.
I disagree on that one.
You disagree?
I
I think
disagree.
I think they have some lyrical depth. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think none of them are like super deep.
I think so. Like I think Nicki went hard with the with the monster themed rap lyrics. Eating brains and doing all that. Horror movie tropes. Beyonce came with the lyrics. Period. I don't know, man. This is hard. I mean, like, I'm trying to. Okay, Beyonce kind of has the advantage because she showed up more than once in the song,
She shows it
whereas
more than
Nick
once, and again, like how she won the first round, she adds a lot with her harmonizing background vocals.
exactly, and Nicki just pops in and pops out.
Nicki just
But
pops in and pops out, but I will say some. I mean, obviously, I love the whole Nicki verse, but the
yeah,
way she ends it,
yes,
like that last. I'm a motherfucking monster. Like that, it just
Yes.
man, it really it ties the whole song together, puts a beautiful little bow right on top.
That was the mic drop moment for the whole song. Like
It
what with that
was.
scream and I'm a motherfucking monster. I was like, thank you. You stayed on track. Like, complete side note tangent real quick. I cannot stand when a guest artist gets on a song and raps about whatever the hell they want to rap about and not sticking to the theme of the song. That is so damn dumb to me. It's like you're on this song talking about this subject, rap about the damn subject. Don't be talking
Which
about some extracurricular shit. Like,
uh,
stay focused.
I forget which song because this made me go back and listen to the entire My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because that's like one of my favorite albums all time. And there's I
Hmm.
forget which song it is, but the song that has like Rick Ross where he has like an
Hmm.
actual like full verse on it. He basically does that where he's just like rambling the entire time, and it's like, what are you
Yeah,
on about right now?
exactly,
It is a pet peeve of
exactly.
mine as well.
Yeah. Rick Ross does that a lot. You be talking about
Hmm.
something entirely different, and all you hear is Maybach music. I'm like, okay, here we go. but
Yeah.
okay, getting back to the ladies. Oh man, you know what? And the worst part about this is, no matter which one we pick, we're gonna piss off a huge fan base regardless.
Yeah.
We're gonna piss off the barbers and the beehive.
Look, whoever doesn't get picked, just they're on the list at least, okay? We didn't leave them off. Agreed.
Exactly. I mean, just retract your pitch knives and forks. Like we're on the same team. This is all for play. Don't dox us. um. Okay. This is gonna be controversial. I'm gonna go with Beyonce on this one.
I was leaning
Only.
towards Beyonce too. I was.
Oh wow. Okay. Because I was ready.
Tell me your reasoning why.
My reasoning is the fact being that she is an R&B singer, number one. She just popped up as a guest rap performance and killed it lyrically, timing, vocal, and the fact being that even in her rap lyrics, she harmonized her rap lyrics and sing song with it and did multiple verses in the song. Those are my reasons. The fact being that she outshined Megan on her own song, but also appeared more throughout the song. If Nicki, okay, I put it this way: in Monster, if Nicki wasn't in that song, there would not be that song would be whatever. Like Nicki is the reason why Monster is such a good song. Period. Like
Hmm.
imagine Monster without Nicki's verse. It'll just be
So it's yeah, it's okay.
yeah.
You got Kanye
So
West and Jay Z. It's fine.
yeah, but yeah, it just would have been like okay, this is album fill or whatever else. But like Nicki came in with that energy and that monster that scream and all the different cadences and switching her voice to a little anime voice versus her regular voice and all that other stuff. So I give props where props are due, but I think Beyonce in this particular song because she was able to flip it up and still be Beyonce, but also represent Houston. Especially during the time because I think the song was like dedicated to like the flood relief when Houston went
Mm.
underwater or something like that. So all the proceeds of the song went towards that. So the fact being that they went so hard on this song to represent Houston and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. Definitely just the fact that like why I'm giving it to her is just the fact, like you said, that I've not really heard Beyonce really rap before, and like again, that just like took me so by surprise whenever she like not only was like just just hearing her rap in general was already like what Beyonce rapping, but then she actually like brings it, and you're like what Beyonce rapping, and it's really good.
right.
Um, that coupled with another thing you touched on, like I think at the very end of her verse, she's rapping, but then she's also like kind of singing and harmonizing like the last word of each bar or whatever, And
Hmm.
like again, like I said earlier, I'm a huge sucker for that. If you can fuse rap and like R&B, beautiful singing together, it's just like, well, it's beautiful. So yeah, that's why I'm giving it to her as well.
All right. All right, we're gonna give it to Beyonce. This is man, this is gonna be interesting. All right. Okay. The last round in the semifinals, we got You My Girl, Khia featuring Marcus Vance, Jules and Drugs, Lady Gaga, T.I., Too Short, and Twista. I'm gonna let you go on this one. I'm gonna remain silent because both of these are my picks. So I'm gonna remain silent and let you go first, and then we'll go from there.
Well, again, this one's a little hard because we're comparing a rap verse to a guy that had the audacity to make me feel things with his beautiful voice.
Right? What an
Um,
asshole.
I know, unnecessary. Oh, it's tough, man. That's tough. It's like that's what's splitting me on this right now. Is like, do I give it to the song that like kind of emotionally gave me a gut punch,
Hmm.
or do I give it to the song that like the verse was just like, oh man, that kind of blew me away with the flow and the rhymes and everything. Oh, it's
Yeah,
tough. This is
this is
tough.
this is hard. That's the reason why I kind of gave it to you first. I'm just like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna say.
I think I'm leaning towards Jules and Drugs.
Okay.
Just again because lyrics are a lot to me, and the
Hmm.
lyrics do have meaning. Like the whole song, of course, has deep meaning
Hmm.
in "You're My Girl," but Marcus Vance's part isn't like there's not a lot of it, which is kind of a knock for me, I guess, compared to Twista. There's a lot
Hmm.
more words and stuff to dig into.
Okay. To
Um,
be fair, if you give Twister 1 second, he can rap the entire like
that's
encyclopedia. So that's not.
which, well, I mean, also to be fair, well, no, I don't know. That is a good point. That is a very good point.
um, you know what? You know what? You're right on that one. I'm leaning towards Jewels and Drugs for the simple fact, "You My Girl," we know it's a Khia song featuring a guy singing on it. Jewels and Drugs, you literally forget Lady Gaga is in the song and it's her song.
Yeah,
So, so
yeah, no, that's a very good way to put it. I feel like.
yeah, both songs are phenomenal. I'm glad Lady Gaga took a chance and was like, "Yeah, I'm a pop princess. Yeah, I wear meat dresses and do crazy stuff and poker face, but let me just step into hip hop real quick and like feature some of my favorite rappers on a song and just like let them shine, essentially."
Hmm.
Um, and and I'm glad we got a chance to prove to the world that Kaya does have more than her neck and her back. She actually does have something else to rap about.
Yeah,
Uh, um,
she just needs beautiful singers to come in
Pretty
on
much.
this. uh, but yeah, just I think also another thing was part of it. It was again I was listening to these songs on repeat so much that the emotional gut punch that Marcus Vance kind of gives did lessen as you repeatedly listen to it over and over again a little bit.
True. True.
Um, versus I always got hyped whenever Twista was like staying on the beat and like you said, rapping a mile a minute.
Yeah. And we are at the finals. We got Savage Remix, Megan Thee Stallion versus Jules and Drugs, Lady Gaga, T.I., Too Short, and Twista.
Champion battle.
Who outshined the main artist the most?
So I'm just gonna come out and say my pick. So I think I'm gonna go Savage, Beyonce.
You dirty
Or are you
MFer.
gonna go Twista? Or are you leaning towards
Yes,
Twista?
I was gonna go Twister. We thought it was gonna be an easy fight.
Well, okay, let me explain myself. Why it's a lot of the same reasons as the last round.
Mm-hmm.
The a lot of it is the novelty for me of Beyonce rapping like really well, and like again maybe just because I haven't really listened to the other songs where she's rapped and stuff, but that was definitely a kind of a new experience for me. And but Twista is gonna do what Twista does, and he does that on the song. It's really good. He's normally pretty good, but like just the like wow factor of Beyonce just really, I think, for me, gives it just
Mm-hmm.
that half notch over the other one.
I agree. I agree. I acknowledge that. It's just would you? Hmm, we're literally splitting hairs at this point.
We
Uh,
are.
but like again, my argument for Jewels and Drugs is very similar to the one beforehand. You literally forget it's a Lady Gaga song. Like when a song, like I will have this song on my rap playlist, and somebody be looking at me like Lady Gaga, like just listen to the song, you'll be all right. And like
Okay.
so,
Yeah. It
that's
fits the theme better
I mean,
a
well
little bit.
they both fit the theme equally. Like that's the hard part. Like they fit the theme equally.
Well, I don't,
Um,
because you still have Megan the Stallion, like you still know it's her song, right? Like she still has the big verses. it's kind of, if you're just comparing like who is more forgettable, I guess, between Lady Gaga and Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, Lady Gaga is definitely more forgettable from between these two songs. Like you said, you kind of forget that it's her song by the end of it, just because everyone else on the song brought such heat. Like, that's a really good point. That's honestly a very good point. I kind
Yeah.
of think with that in mind, just like sticking to the outshine the main artist as what was the overarching theme of the bracket here. I think I'm going to switch to Jules and Jugs. Not the one I would have thought would win, but that's the way that's the way the tournament shook out.
That's the way the bracket landed. We got Jewels and Drugs in this inaugural playlist battle. I did not think that was going to win either. Honestly, I was thinking it was going to go with what's the name? Nostalgia. Really, I thought Kendrick was going to go all the way.
I was
But
thinking he was too, but that very first he got, if he'd been put if the first round, if he was matched with any other song, I would have argued till I was blue in the face for it to be the winner. But
mhm.
Savage was literally like the one song where I was like, this one might be better than it.
Yeah, like I was arguing for Cee-Lo, and honestly, I thought you were gonna like EARTHGANG a little bit more than you did. I mean, but at the same, I mean, I respect it though. But like, it was still, yeah, like that was one of the songs that wasn't going to make that it made the list accidentally because I was going through my archives to try to pick 4 songs for this playlist battle, and the algorithm just started playing that one next. I was like, I've heard this song forever, and I was like, hold up. I said, did Cee-Lo go off on this? And like I scrubbed to his verse. I was like, yeah, Cee-Lo went off. So I threw him on there. My honorable mention that I was gonna put on there was Jay-Z featuring UGK, Big Pimpin',
Mm.
because Bun B bodied that song.
My honorable mention was another Kendrick verse from the
Hmm.
song Control.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I purposely didn't put that one on because he literally calls out like the entire rap game
Oh yeah.
in
Oh
that
yeah.
verse, and like
Oh
it's
yeah.
straight like rap battle fire. So
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that
Yeah.
one it would have an unfair advantage for just
Yeah.
bringing it.
Like that song like made J. Cole come out of his hermit crab and like actually respond to that song.
Yeah,
On oddly enough, on a Justin Timberlake remix. Actually, shoot, I should put that on there. Yeah, that's another honorable mention too. TKO remix, which is weird, is Justin Timberlake song TKO. The remix of the song only has Justin Timberlake on the hook. He has Pusha T rapping on it, J. Cole, and some other third person that ASAP. One of the ASAPs, I
one
forget
of the
which one.
mini ASAPs.
Yeah, I want to say it's probably ASAP for I don't know. Somebody ASAP was on the song. I think it was ASAP Rocky if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
But yeah, but like yeah, interesting. All right, all right. Well, that is the episode for the week.
Oh, did we specify at the beginning that we specifically chose songs that were not Eminem, Andre 3000 slash Outcasts, Busta Rhymes featuring, right? Did we say that
Actually,
at the beginning?
I did not. I should have added that as an addendum. But since we are here now, let's go ahead and address that. We purposely did not pick any song that featured Eminem, Busta Rhymes, Andre 3000, and who else that always shows up and like just murders every track that they like appear on. But at least those 3 for sure.
I think it was just those three that were like the definitely no. Just because, like you
Yeah.
said, if you have them on your song, it's now their song.
Yeah. They officially own that song at that point.
Yeah.
Especially the one I had on this list when I was conceiving the idea was Ti featuring Andre 3000. I'm sorry, and that song, even though Ti had 2 verses, Andre had one long verse, and like you said, it was like, okay, I know you're featuring me, but this is my song now.
Whenever you first told me, after we got done recording last episode, you told me this is what this episode you wanted to do this episode on this. Um, Literally every single, I was sitting there trying to think every song I would think of would be like, no, that's an Eminem song. No, that's an Andre 3000 song. That's an Andre 3000 song. That's a Outcast song. Oh, this has Busta Rhymes in it. It's like
Oh
every
yeah,
single one that was like would pop in my head that I would think of would be like, no, that doesn't work.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
like you said, I mean, it would be, we could have done this same tournament just with like songs from those three.
Hey, I mean, we got more show planned. So if you want another playlist battle, feel free to send any kind of recommendations. But yeah, I think we could do that one, like best bus arounds or Eminem verse or whatever, and
Yeah,
guest appearance. And oh man,
that would be
that's
that
gonna be
would
a
be
sick.
difficult.
That's gonna be a 6 hour episode
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
have to we have to dissect each one of those lyrics. Oh man, I'm still surprised. I did not expect Jewels and Drugs to go as far as it did, but
Jules and Drugs got the good matchups is what it got along the way. I feel
I
like
agree. I agree. It got lucky. Again, we didn't seed it. We just
no, this is
we
all
input into the random
randomly
generator,
generated.
and that's what happened.
So if your
Oh,
favorite song or your chosen song at the beginning did not make it through, well, tell us why.
yeah,
Actually, we'd love to hear why you agree and or disagree with us.
absolutely. And the easiest way to do that is to comment on your favorite podcast platform if they have that option, or you can follow us on social at After Listen Pod. We're on IG and Twitter for now, as long as Twitter stays up and running.
Yeah.
Um, our website is afterlistenpod.com, and feel free to do all the things like, follow, share, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Peace.
See ya. Thanks for listening.